This is Trump in the 1980s. Listen to this.
Most people understand that in order to make progress, you have to do things which aren't necessarily going to make you the most popular boy on the block. And that's what we did. In that case, we had a decision to make, and we had to make a decision.
Is that something you learned all by yourself, or was it instilled in you by your father or your grandparents or anyone?
I think maybe it's something that was instilled, and maybe it's something that you've learned through a little bit of trial and error over the years. I think this country maybe is a good example. I just don't feel the country is going forward in the proper direction. We could have made quick decisions, and we would have been a lot better off than the way we've been sitting around over the last couple of years and just watching everybody else do everything, and we just sit back and take everybody's abuse. It's a very sad situation that somebody isn't there making the decisions and pushing the right and proper, I don't want to use the word buttons, frankly, but pushing the right levers so that we can go out and do things as we're supposed to be doing them.
You are a mover, you are a doer. If you could make America perfect, how would you do it?
Well, I think that America is a country that has tremendous, tremendous potential. I think that much like the mind, I think that America is using very, very little of its potential. I feel that this country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was. And I hope, and certainly hope, that it does go on to be what it should be.
Trump in the 1980s never changed, guys. I mean, yeah, absolutely. America definitely, in fact, needs to kind of revert back to what made it America, rather than whatever this diluted state of the United States of America we're currently in. We 100% need to bring America back to the point where we are looking somewhat insular. If we have enough money to help, we can help. Sure, if that's what we all basically decide to do here. But other than that, yeah, we definitely need to kind of push back a little bit, guys. We have to, because if not, we're going to lose our country. Absolutely. We're going to lose our country to the influence of other countries.
It should really be a country that gets the respect of other countries.
Is respect the most important thing in your opinion?
Well, respect can lead to other things. When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do, and you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time. I think we've lost the opportunity.
Donald, would you have wanted to be one of those men to have gone to Iran, and taken those fellows out?
No, I wouldn't have wanted to be, but I would have done it.
Would you?
Absolutely. If I were the age, if I were in the military.
There were a lot of those fellas who went for that aborted coup, who were 34 years old and older. They were your age.
That's right.
If you were called upon, would you? I know it's easy to say, yes, of course I would go. But if the phone rang right now and someone from the Selective Service had said, Donald, we're taking every young man 34 years of age, we're sending him to war, would you go to war?
No, I don't see a war. You see, the war this is not a Vietnam situation, fortunately. The war, in fact, with Iraq.
There is a war waging
yes.
right now.
Oh, yes, there is a war, and it's a war where nobody has any tanks, has any guns. It's a war where everyone's standing around. That would have been the easiest victory we would have ever won, in my opinion.
When I look at television, I see men being shot up, legs being blown off.
You're talking about two non-existent armies. I mean, Iran has an army composed of American equipment without parts and without anything else, and Iraq has a very weak army, and they're just really fighting each other. I mean, it's almost hand-to-hand combat. If you see now, they've run out. It's a sad situation, Rona, but it's a situation which ultimately is going to get much worse. That little sparkle of war, that little sparkle is going to lead, in my opinion, to a much, much greater conflict, and I think that's very unfortunate. And I think a lot of it has to do with this country and the fact that this country is not more involved in terms of setting policy in that area.
Do you think perhaps that the the oil industry is responsible for this, as the late Shah once implied?
Well, I wouldn't want to criticize the oil industry because I wouldn't know enough about it, but I can tell you that I think this country is responsible for that war by its own weaknesses. I don't think you'd have this war if they, again using the other word, if we were respected, properly respected as a country and as a people and as a nation. I don't think that you would have the war going on right now between Iran and Iraq. I don't think that Iran would have our hostages for 10 minutes. If they respected this country, I don't believe they would have our hostages for 10 minutes.
Without a doubt, the West and other like super rich nations that are heavily reliant upon oil are definitely, for the most part, responsible for a good amount of the overall drama that tends to happen. Because again, you're making certain countries richer and then other countries poorer. They're seeing these things, but these other countries may not have the same overall ideology. Let's just say this year, there is also a Sunni and Shia type of beef that is historical there. That is a thing. We had nothing to do with that, but they have something that is incredibly valuable to us. So we put a price on it and a lot of people tend to lose their existence. Guys, I mean, you could basically follow the gold rush, let's say the gold and the diamonds and all the precious metals that are coming out of Africa. Like just legitimately, just look at the literal wars that are surrounding it, the civil wars, etc. So when you start pumping money into an impoverished region, expect for these type of things to kind of happen here. Are we like 100% to blame for what they have going on over there? No. All right. Not at all. But our Western stuff, let's say this year, has definitely been affecting them in a way that they don't like it. So they hate us and they hate anything that has anything to do with basically the West and our literal nonsense, because we're the big Satan and we're against everything that their religious doctrine basically dictates is just and true and real. Basically, I definitely want to point out here, I love the conviction here. Okay. Because listen, Trump has basically apparently been saying this since the 1980s. That is absolutely intriguing here. His first term, he was going somewhat hard against Iran, but not as hard as he is now. Obviously, whatever he said and had been thinking the entirety of the time has now come to fruition here. This is a very hostile regime out there, and they definitely do have the ability to basically stop our overall energy production of oil, the world's production of oil. This is a problem. All right. Like this is something that many other presidents and many other world leaders all knew. They all basically have conversations about how bad things are basically in Iran, but no one wants to do anything about it. They're completely fine letting it happen. It seems, at least here, guys. But also at the same time, what does it involve? Not allowing it to happen. It basically involves creating a brand new kind of kerfuffle, a war. Right. And not many people want to be involved in a war, but I get it, guys. Listen, say that to the people that are losing their existence on a daily basis due to the government and the regime, specifically in Iran. Like, at what point are you going to stand up for them if that is even a thing that you feel like the need to do here, guys? I mean, I think it's important here. But I guess the moral of the story here is when you believe something and something is true, when you can kind of root it in fact, do not allow others to basically sway your opinion, because your opinion most likely is true and just and real to yourself, but at the same time, it's rooted in fact. So you have the ability to basically do something about what you obviously feel so adamant about. So respect. I respect people with conviction, period.